Coming soon. The Hot Joint 10th episode special edition. As we count down and the most explosive moments. High Mania. As well as a special discussion about death. You won't want to miss it. Coming soon.
Previously on the Hot Joint.
The board recently received several complaints of public executions which aired live during your program.
I've got to tend to the matters at my talk show. Things are just off the hook over there. Some son of a bitch took it over. And
I've got something I've been meaning to say to you, okay? And this comes from the bottom of my heart. Here's our new keyboardist. Come on out. Oh, hey. Watch out today. Oh, hey. Oh. Hey, Todd. How does it feel seeing your murderer?
Oh, it's really nice. She looks really nice today.
They're difficult to keep going. Hey, what the hell's going on? Watch out.
keep the change.
Are you ready for some fresh, delicious goat farm blood?
Farm bred, farm dead, or will she live to see another day? Joint 10th episode special edition, featuring mortician and bartender Val Herrera. And then we're gonna count down the top 10 Hot Joint's greatest hits. Find out who's a winner and who's a loser when we take a very special spin on the Wheel of Exclamation.
And coming at you hot from coast to coast, it's the Hot Joint. Now with your host, Ronaldo Largo.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Oh, thank you, everybody. It means the world to me to be right back here on the Hot Joint in front of all you, in front of all my fans, all of you at home watching from around the world. Oh, it feels great to be right back here on the Hot Joint. Listen, the last couple of months have been pure hell for me, shacked up in that hospital, and I just wanted to say thank you for everyone out there who sent me letters, wonderful gifts, cards, the whole 9 yards. Oh, it really meant a lot to me. It kept my spirits high through those lonely nights when the hope was low and my lights were running dim. Each and every one of you that sent me a card, and even those of you that didn't, thank you anyways. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Yeah. Thank you. But it really does feel good to be right back here on the Hot Joint, just in time for our 10th episode special edition. Ooh, I can't believe it's already been 10 episodes, can you? Oh, enough of that teary-eyed bullshit already. We've got a show to get to tonight on the Hot Joint. Join us as we relive our greatest hits to date and count down the top 10 stickiest, nastiest, most explosive moments. That's a top 10 countdown you won't want to miss, and then we'll be talking about death, and more death. As Val Herrera, fresh from the morgue, joins us, sits down with me to answer all the questions you have about what happens when you ease on off into the great abyss. Yes, she'll be here. It feels great to be alive, doesn't it? And then, at the top of the hour, we... Sorry about that. As I was saying, at the top of the hour, we're going to have everybody's favorite game, the Word of Exclamation, tonight on the Hot Joint. All right, folks, here I am with the queen of the goat farm herself, Stacy Sala. Stacy, you're looking absolutely lovely today, I must say. Good to see you. Good to have you here in one piece after that horrifying incident that closed out the last episode. I know it was traumatic for you. I know it was a rough deal, a raw deal, but we're still in one piece. I'm here on wheels. I must tell everybody I'm all doped up. My neck is just absolutely killing me. They had me on the IV drip there at the hospital, the steroids. They had me all hopped up, you know. I was feeling good. The adrenaline was high, especially after that cigarette ride. And then the next day I woke up. I could barely crawl out of bed. I felt like a crippled goose. Oh, it was horrible. I must have had some crash or whatever's in my system was out. I don't know, but I went in this back alley over here and got me what I needed to get me through the scenes today from one of these guys that hangs out back here. Dr. Nickel Dimas, he's pissed off. He's not writing me any prescriptions, even though I'm in obvious pain. He wants me back up in that hospital. He had me there for damn near a month, just suffering away, juicing me. Like, remember the orange juice shit? That was like what he's doing to me. To the insurance money, just milking it, wanting all that goddamn insurance money. Yeah, the aches and pains that just happen to be part of being a host of a talk show where you got crazy nuts running around wanting to kill everybody. Stacy Sala hanging in there through the thick and through the thin. Here she is. Stacy, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm just so depressed. I can't shake the feeling of killing another human being, all this senseless slaughter. It's just awful. I can't shake it.
Yeah, it's gotta be rough. Go on, tell us more.
At night, the shrill cries.
Shrill cries.
From Todd.
Todd, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's gotta be very emotionally kicking your ass, very traumatic. If you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, she unwillingly killed a man, an Olympian, a gold medalist, a bronze medalist, a silver medalist, just burnt him alive, burnt to a crisp. Burnt to a crisp. Well, just hang in there, Stacy. Things are gonna get better. Just believe me, I'm back in town. That vulture hopefully he never comes back. And if you're out there, I just want you to know I was just getting started. This isn't over between us. Sooner or later, we're going to cross paths. Once again, I'm finally going to get my hands on you, and you're finally going to pay for this disaster. I had to bring people in to clean the place up. There's still stains everywhere. The whole place smells horrible. It's not coming through over the television, but BO and gingiva, whatever the hell's been going on here. It smells like a bunch of nasty dudes have been in here. Yes, that had to just be absolutely horrible to bear witness to something like that, to be involved in it. I was chained up there in the hospital. They had me cuffed to the bed, helpless to do anything about it. I just had to sit there and watch it, and it pissed me off. I'm still pissed off about it. What's all that rocking about, Stacy? What's going on?
Mama's gotta be ready for the next breeding season.
The next breeding season, is that what you said?
Come January, Mama's gonna be full of milk.
Full of milk? Whoa, Stacy, hey, have a seat. Stacy, yeah, well, as I was saying, he was burnt to a crisp, Todd Waters was, and the vulture threw the ashes right up in my nostrils. Oh, have you ever sniffed concrete dust? Had me coughing for days. It was just absolutely.
That bear. What he did to Delmonico. That bear.
Oh, I almost forgot. How could I forget about that? Paul Delmonico, brutally attacked by a bear here on the show. He's still yet to be found. We don't know what's happened to him. We've been speaking with the game warden, the local police. Grizzy Magoof also nowhere to be found. The obvious suspect in the attack. Delmonico, as you saw him pulled out of here. And whatever you're into, crossing your fingers, saying prayers, do it, because if it helps Paul Delmonico come back in one piece, that would be an absolute miracle for everyone here at the show. And now, another mess I find myself into. I've got this letter from the Public Broadcast Administration. They want to see me down there at 7 a.m., 2 days before Christmas in the freezing cold. Why can't they do court at reasonable hours? It never makes sense. They want to wake all the deadbeats up early, get them out of bed, kid them off guard. Just start the thing at noon. Why can't you do that? But Stacy, how's the vomiting doing? It seemed like the last time we spoke, that was a big issue. You're throwing up a lot. Are you still doing that? Oh, forget I asked. It seems as though we have nothing but bad news to talk about here on the Hot Joint. It's quite depressing, but I'm going to turn that frown upside down because when we come back, we're counting down the Hot Joint's top 10 greatest hits when the 10th episode special edition of the Hot Joint returns after this. Don't go anywhere.
Feeling lonely? Check this out. Call now. 1-900-GEES.
Oh.
Naughty talk. Dirty secrets.
Oh, boy.
Looking for grannies? We've got 'em waiting to talk to you.
Oh, I haven't been this wet since the Reagan administration.
Talk to live grannies about your deepest desires and darkest fantasies. That's 1-900-GEES.
We won't tell a soul.
Call now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Stacy Sala obviously still having her issues with the vomit, but you've got to give her the benefit of the doubt. We're short-staffed today, and she's still gracious enough to be here to help us out. But now it's time to buckle your seats up. Strap yourselves in the chair because we're going to review the Hot Joint's nastiest, stickiest, most explosive moments to date. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the Hot Joint's Greatest Hits, Volume 1. All right, right, and let's see what came in at number 10. It's Ricky the Cat Meow. Yes, this is how things started up, and they only went downhill from there. Ricky the Cat Meow returned the following week, bloodied and bludgeoned, claiming a masked man had attacked him, and I'd later find out myself he wasn't full of bullshit. Ricky that Cat Meow, that nasty stinker, he ruined this whole son of a bitch for me. It's sunk to a new low after he arrived. Let's see what came in at number 9 on the Hot Joint's Greatest Hits Countdown. The assassination of Harrison Bush. And there you see the assassination of Harrison Bush by Lee Harvey Cobbler, we'd later find out. Lee, if you're out there watching, I send my regards. Thanks a lot. That's one less liar in a suit y'all are going to have to listen to, by the way. And now, Hot Joint's Greatest Hits number 8. DB Slivers gets a pie to the face, yes. This is the one that started it all. DB Slivers spinning the wheel, coming up the loser like we all knew he was. Right in the face, crust in the beard. And right now, Stacy, we're going to take the time to visit our old pal, DB Slivers, there at Cedar and Sinai Hospital. DB, how are you doing? You made it in at number 8.
What a surprise. Ronaldo Largo, finding amusement in the suffering of others.
Well, if you haven't heard, DB, what goes around comes around. And look at me, I'm not doing too great myself, so what do you expect?
One day, and one day soon, I'm gonna get a hold of you, you squirrel, and I'm gonna wring your nuts. I'm gonna wring your nuts.
Well, DB, listen, I'd love to talk to you some more, but we've got the rest of the countdown to get to. Thanks a lot for the memories, DB. And now, moving on to the Hot Joint's Greatest Hits Countdown. We're at number 7. Let's see what we came up with. Whoa! Siezetsu the Mighty sprays me in the face. Whoa, the skunk juice. It was just absolutely horrible. Took me weeks to get rid of that smell. My face was stained. I couldn't even leave the house. Oh, it was absolutely horrible, but I'd like to take the time to let you know that EWF's debut is happening soon, or it may have already happened, but just check their website, the Elite Wrestling Federation's website, for the latest information. You'll thank me later. And now, coming in on the Hot Joint's Greatest Hits Countdown at number 6, Kurt Thrutchley, the Lone Skunk Special. He started off the way most stray dogs do, and that's by marking his territory. And there you see me running to the rescue with a cranberry magoo to soothe the pain. And oh, what a mess that was to clean up. Oh, and on top of that, he won a $10,000 scratch-off lottery ticket. Woo-hoo. Well, coming in on the Hot Joint Countdown, we're at number 6. The moment our debt was finally settled. Curiosity kills the cat. I had him right where I wanted him, and I was throwing the heat like Roger Clemens. Caked up sinuses was the last words I heard to describe Ricky the Cat Meow. All right, coming in at number 4, Pizza Beret.
Let me tell you, a little mozzarella cheese is what I did. Get the pepperonis on there.
And the jingle bells are also a nice.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you what those bells are about. That's so when you're wearing this out and about, no one can sneak up behind and steal a slice. You can hear them coming.
Okay.
Yeah, DB, come on out. I'm gonna put it on him and show you one more trick. Or if the pizza gets a little cold, here, hold this for me. The pizza gets a little cold. All you do is. Oh. Well,
A prototype for the ages. There you see DB Slivers sent skedaddling out of here like the fool he was. That was probably my personal favorite thing to see happen here on the Hot Joint. But yeah, that was great. And now it's time for number 3 on the Hot Joint's greatest hit countdown. J.S. Hart receives a double dip of mayhem. This is the move I've become world renowned for. I catch him off guard with the exploding joint, and right as he's trying to make sense of it all, I ring his bell hard. J.S., if you're out there watching, one more time, how does it feel to get hit in the pie by a face? Now let's see what came in at number 2. Thank you for tuning in to us. Oh, the vulture attacked me. How horrible was that? Here you see it going down just as I was wrapping up the show. The sneak attack from behind. And Vulture, I just want you to know, because I know you're listening out there, how could you not be? This isn't over between us. Soon I'm gonna find you, and soon I will put these hands around your neck, and soon I will yank that nasty mask off of your head, and the whole world's gonna find out just who in the hell you are. This isn't over between us, Vulture. Not by a long shot. And now, coming in at number 1 on the Hot Joint's greatest hits countdown, DB Slivers gets thrown off the roof by the Vulture. And there you see DB Slivers splatting down hard off the roof, off the roof, off the roof. Horrible, horrible situation. Carted off to Cedar and Sinai Hospital. He's been there ever since. It's a long road to recovery for him. And I think right now we need to check back in with DB Slivers and let him know the great news. DB Slivers, DB, it's your old pal. You are number 1. Number 1. You won. You're number 1 on the Hot Choice Greatest Hits Countdown. How does it feel?
Ronaldo Largo, that does it. Get out of my way!
And there you see DB Slivers obviously at a loss for words. DB, I can't thank you enough. We could have done it without you. Let's hear it for DB Slivers, ladies and gentlemen. Clap, clap. DB Slivers, there he is. Thank you, DB, thank you. Thank you. All right, and that concludes the Hot Joint's Greatest Hits Volume 1. There you see it. We had plenty more we could have put in there. We could have made it a top 20 greatest hits, but we just didn't have the time. But there you see it. Stay tuned to the magic, because there's plenty more hits to come. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, we'll be right back after this here on the Hot...
In, out, in, out. You like your boogers rare, cause I got them as rare as you want those motherfuckers right now. Tell us how rare you want that burger. I got a shotgun in the back and we'll kill the cow tonight. And when that motherfucker asks you if you gonna eat it in your car, tell him to kiss your ass. In-N-Out Burger's the best goddamn hamburger your ass will ever put in your motherfucking face. So get your ass down here right now. In-N-Out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Hot Joint. Our next guest, she likes to dabble with the dead, and she's also a bartender at night, amongst other things. Please welcome to the Hot Joint, Mortician Val Herrera. Hey, thank you. Oh, what's the lights? Yes, thank you. Oh, yeah. I better put this away. Now, how you doing this evening?
I'm good. How are you?
I've been better.
Long recovery.
Yeah, but it's better to be on this end talking to you than on the other end. So you mess with dead bodies, I'm told, right?
Yeah, it's a mortician's motto where it's like, my job starts when your life ends.
Oh my gosh! Wow, so they can't complain. What do you do to them?
So pretty much embalming. I have worked on a few autopsy cases. So just prepping and cleaning and making sure they're ready for either to be viewed or to be cremated. So. Oh
yeah, I knew a guy that worked at a cremation home. It didn't pay well, he said. But you know what he did? He'd save the titanium out of people's joints. I don't think he was supposed to. In fact, I think that's why he got fired. But he would save them in a bucket. And he showed them to me one time. He had like a Home Depot bucket full of people's knee joints.
I believe
was like,
it's highly illegal, but I mean, a lot of people still do it. So you can find all kinds of things online. I found an artist who actually sells like a bunch of the silicone molds and stuff that they use underneath, like say for instance if you were to lose your leg or a nipple or something. They actually have prosthetics and things that they use.
Oh, like a cadaver nipple or
yeah, for viewing purposes.
I see what you're saying. Mm-hmm. Do they take them off afterwards or do they send them home with it?
No, they take them out.
They reuse them.
No, they don't reuse them, but
they take them off before they put them in the casket.
Because they can't be cremated like that. So.
Oh yeah, what is it, like latex or silicone or something?
Yeah, silicone.
Yeah, I've dabbled in that myself from time to time. But so you fix them up. Mm-hmm. What did you say? You did something at a few autopsy cases where you had to determine what the cause of death was?
Yeah, well, the first, when I did my first cases, because while you're in school, you're supposed to complete at least 12 cases before you're able to move on to the next quarter. And so the first 3 that I worked on were actually autopsy cases.
Wow.
And it was my first time walking in there. And I honestly thought I was going to faint. But once I got in, I was actually pretty comfortable and surprised that I was able to just be open about it and view, the cadavers the way they were.
You don't really know until you walk in and see the dead body.
Oh yeah, and I mean in school they have an actual prepping station where you're able to view other students actually working on cadavers. But it's nothing as it is like one-on-one.
Where you first have to touch it, and they're cold. The bodies are cold, aren't they? I don't. Yeah. Every funeral I go to, I try to touch the body. I don't know why. I just one finger, and I feel it, and I say, "Man, he's dead." Just to know they're dead. I do that sometimes, but
no one's came alive.
No. It's just I don't know. It's weird. There is like a weird dead thing because I know something like that's gone on because I'm looking at them. You can tell everything. You're like, yeah, they've make-upped them up a little bit, and they've like made them smile. Sometimes, how do you make them smile? You stuff their cheeks full of something.
Usually, it's either cotton or they'll use a mouthpiece to make sure because in death they say that because the eyes are closed, the way you're viewed, your smile is kind of how to be perceived when you're dead. So that we always have to make sure that the person's not grinning or they have to look at least like presentable.
Yeah.
So you don't want someone looking sad or or
is there ever one that's just so bad you have to shut the lid and tell them, this ain't gonna work?
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's been a couple that I worked on.
Motorcycle accidents are always rough.
And car accidents.
Oh yeah, I've been to a few of those.
Yeah.
Closed lid funerals. Yeah. So you don't have a problem touching the dead at this point. How long have you been doing this?
So I just graduated in March, at the end of March, but I've worked on a few cases. So it's been a few months, but I feel like I've already learned so much already. I just want to continue to grow and learn.
Yeah.
But I've done a few cases already. So.
Do you remember a TV show like when you had to go to driving school? They'd show you called Red Asphalt. You remember that? It was just like one car wreck after another, and it was shot in the 1960s, and it was just horrible car wrecks.
No.
They'd make it, and there was like part 2 and 3, and in our driving school when I was 15, they made us watch that, and I almost fainted. I had to get out of there quick because it was just, they showed blood in the gutter. And then after that, I had to come back, and he wanted me to watch it a second time. He's like, all right, you got to watch it again now, because I didn't make it through. So now I had to watch it again, and I didn't make it through. I said, look, I'm going to throw up if you keep showing this to me. I was like 15 years old. And then to make it even worse, I wasn't a good driver when I started with, and I couldn't like turn right. And then that same guy that made me watch that video, he said, I ain't letting you out there with my wife and kids on the street. You saw the video? You saw what happened? And I was like, yeah, I almost fainted twice, you idiot. And he looked like Wyatt Earp. He had like a fucking mustache like this. He looked just like Wyatt Earp, bald. And yeah, he was an asshole. But anyways, I'd be horrible at doing that. So you got any plans? You're gonna start working full time at a funeral home or something? And
yeah, definitely a mortuary, crematory, because I want to learn how to do crematory stuff as well.
Oh yeah.
And then probably apprentice for a few years, maybe move somewhere else and try to gain some experience in another state.
Yeah.
See how they do things and they practice. But yeah, I guess that's a good thing about even having this job is I can pretty much go anywhere.
Yeah, so you have to be certified for this or something, yeah.
Yeah, you have to be certified and have your license for it.
Wow, so what, they suck all the juices out of them. What do they do with them? Just put them down the drain or something? I've heard that's what happens. Everyone's always shocked to hear that, but I already knew that's what they did.
Yeah, they do. It was funny because while in school, one of the first prepping that we did, the fluids all started going down the drain, and the girls were like, so where does that end up? And everyone's like, they wouldn't say. They
didn't want to say where.
But I mean, that's pretty much everywhere. It's going to go down the sewage. That's where it ends up. So.
There's probably worse stuff in the sewer than that, huh?
Probably, yeah.
I mean, not much worse, but that's that makes you never want to go down the sewer. I used to go down there when I was a kid, but yeah, never again.
Also just try to find weird things.
Yeah, yeah, it was always a fun time in the sewer, but damn, yeah, don't go in one by the. Did you hear there was a home that was like leaving the bodies like in the refrigerators and not they were like charging them and giving them coal or something?
I heard one actually like a few years ago, which was, I think it was North Carolina.
Yeah.
Where
so they
were taking in like fetal, like just all kinds of like babies and stuff.
Yeah.
That you normally couldn't you normally couldn't prep, so they would have to actually cremate them. And it turned out that this funeral home was actually keeping them in the attic. And they counted, I think it was over like 100 of them that were in the attic. And what was happening was they were actually getting paid to cremate all of these cadavers, and they weren't. Instead of actually using their crematory to do them, they were trying to save money. So they were getting paid for it and then just keeping the actual cadavers.
What were they mummifying them or something to keep them from stinking? They
left them up there and kind of just forgot about them.
Wouldn't that stink like hell?
That's what I thought, but I don't know. I don't know if maybe they were embalming them first so that they could be preserved. And then
how long is a body good for if you do that? Like if somebody's laying in there, how long are they going to be?
If you're doing embalming, if you already do your embalming, it's going to last probably up to 3 days max.
Oh, really? That's it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no longer.
Because they dug up Lee Harvey Oswald. He looked like hell. You saw that? He was, yeah.
It's, and it also depends on how much like formaldehyde and stuff you're using.
Yeah.
Because there are all different kind of bases for different accidents and things that happen. And different colors of skin and tones and stuff like that. So it also depends on how much you're using. I went to...
what color is formaldehyde? Is it like blue or green or something?
No, it's it's like a clear. It's like a alcohol looking. But with all the chemicals you use, so like if you're using like toner, if you're using what else? There's a whole bunch of things that you mix in order to actually embalm the body. So a lot of times it can be from like an orange color to
why? Because you can
red.
see through them if they're real pale or something?
Yeah, so what happens is, you want to be able to get, especially for viewing purposes, you want to be able to see like an actual skin tone and not just like a gray or I don't know. Just
not make them look blue or something. I saw my grandma one time. She had like a blue thing right here. I don't know what that was, but I was real young, so I might be remembering it wrong. But you ever went to the body farm?
No, I want to go there.
Where is that in Atlanta or?
I don't think it's Atlanta.
It might be here in Texas somewhere then.
I don't think it's in Texas either. I don't know, but I know it's not too far from here.
Yeah.
But I keep hearing about that, and a lot of people keep posting about it.
Yeah, they just lay them all out.
Yeah.
Whoa, that'd be rough. Wow. Yeah. That'd be a rough place to go. I like the worst dead body I ever seen. I was in traffic one time, and I saw like lights were stopping up, and everything was going backing up, like everyone had to put on the brakes. And I saw a big puff of smoke, like a mile up ahead, maybe even closer than that. But I couldn't see the details of it. Then, like, this whole thing lasted like 30 or 45 minutes before the cops showed up and waved everyone along. What happened? A guy in a van, I heard about it on the news later. He like pulled out and somebody T-boned and the whole thing went up in flames. He got burnt to a crisp.
Yeah.
And he was like this. And it was like you ever seen one of those?
Yeah, I've seen.
What do they in a case like that?
There's not honestly really much you can do, especially for viewing purposes.
Take them to the.
Pretty much cremate.
Do they get a discount since half the job's already done? No. Well, yeah. The guy I knew that worked at a crematory said sometimes if stuff got mixed up, they had some that they'd give you in the back.
Does he still work for
No,
it?
this was years and years. This guy might be dead at this point. I don't know what happened. He was always dusty from the stuff though. And he said he'd have to wrestle the heavy bodies in there, and sometimes if they were big, he said that they'd take two of these wooden things and he'd throw them in. I don't know. He's telling me all the details of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's crazy. Well, so you did forensics and stuff with bones and all that, or?
No, just pretty much just embalming and then cosmetics.
Oh, so it's like makeup and stuff. Yeah.
And then as far as bones and stuff go, I mean, I've dabbled in a little like taxidermy. And doing like cleaning or wet specimens, and just I worked on a lot of birds lately.
Really?
And just kind of positioning.
What like fish? They don't do them like they used to. You get a mold nowadays, right? You don't get a real fish, or somebody might.
Yeah, there's you can actually get real ones, or if you want to do moles, there's a lot of that actually happening though.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. It's like a lot of molds and stuff. Look, I brought some stuff. My grandpa used to be a taxidermist.
What? Let
me see. I know the smell of the place.
Yeah.
It's a very distinct smell. Let me see.
You never wanted to learn?
Not really. Look, this is one of his old. There you go. It's had some better days.
How old is this?
Oh shit, that might be from the 60s. You think it has poison in it? Like it's got dust that fall. Look, there's some right there.
Yeah.
What do you think? What is that? I've always wondered what that was. Sawdust or something, maybe?
Probably.
And look,
actually,
see at the bottom, they stitched them up.
That is neat.
Yeah. He had a whole shitload of stuff, too. I inherited a bunch of it. Like, nobody wanted that, but...
I wonder what he used, because that does look like sawdust, actually.
Yeah. Be careful, it shits it all out at some point. But yeah, there's that one. Oh, then I got this funny snake here. I don't know what... It's like a spring, too, see? It bounces, kind of. It's not meant to do that, but... I know that's some weird snake from Malaysia, I think.
That is neat.
Yeah. I got that off eBay one time.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was buying Cobra wine. You ever had that? It's like a Cobra, a jar of wine with.
Actually, we have my fiance and I. We have one. He got that. I think it's a Cobra in. Is it a tequila?
Yeah, it's usually like a
whiskey. It's in a whiskey bottle.
like a Johnny Walker bag.
Yeah. and it looks neat.
Yeah.
Super,
Have you
super
drank
cool.
any of it?
No. I don't know.
I drank some one night.
Sure.
Oh, it was a mistake. Don't do it. It was like the worst hangover ever, and I kept belching it up, and I kept like thinking the next day, because that's the only way I would have drank it, because I had no ambitions of drinking the Cobra snake wine.
Yeah.
And one night I got real drunk, ran out of beer. It was after hours. I couldn't get any more. And I opened up that old fucking Cobra snake wine, and I drank like half of it. And then shit started, like Cobra scales were in it. It was probably old by the time I did it. And but it was strong too, and it tasted horrible. Oh God, that's why I only drank half of it. And then the next day I woke up and I saw it, and I said, I can't believe I drank that. And then the hangover came. It was like a whole day hangover. But yeah, don't ever drink your Cobra snake wine. Pull that curtain up. Not you, Stacy. It's look, here it comes. Oh, there's my old dog Willie.
What? Who
I could only find one guy, and apparently, as you can tell, he was the worst taxidermist in town. I had this dog. He was like 130 pounds. My favorite dog I've ever had in my life. I was heartbroken when he died. Like, I just didn't talk on the phone or nothing for a week. And I just drank a bunch of beer, and his dead body was laying in my garage, and I had like ice on him. I was like, man, I got to figure out what to do. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stuff him. So I started calling. Nobody wanted to do it. No, and this is why, because he used a coyote mount. That looks nothing like Willie. Willie looked so much better in real life. But anyways, I found this guy, and I was drunk, so I took my dead dog, and it was like moving a body at this point. That's a heavy dog. It was a lab, like the size of a small bear. So I wrestle him in the truck, take him over there to Fort Worth, and this old man, he's like 86 or 87. He's like, yeah, I'm about the only one that does it anymore. And so I talked to him about taxidermist stuff, and he took the dog, and then I was like, well, I want to cremate him too, what's left over of him. So now I got ashes along with the fur, and I had to go back for the body parts. And he had them, he goes, I've got them in quarters. I guess that's like hunter lingo or something, like for deer. They cut them up in fourths.
Yeah.
And so he goes, I got your dog in quarters. So I had him in sacks. I had to go get my dog in sacks, load them up in the back of the truck, then take them to the guy that was going to cremate him off 183, in Hearst. And they were close. I had to go around to the back and unload my dog in this refrigerator. And during that, one of the pieces of my dog fell out, and I had to see that. I was like, this is a fucking shitty idea from the beginning. After it just got worse and worse. And then 2 weeks later, when he was ready, I went over there, and he had his ears out. I don't know why. Why would the guy do that? Is there some reason that I might not?
Well, I mean, he didn't really do a good job in the first.
Oh, I know. He used a coyote mount, and he made it look like he's smiling. And he like, this dog had a wrinkly face like me, kind of. Everyone always said we looked alike, and not now. He stretched him out. There's no wrinkles on that dog's face at all. He looks like a Mickey Rourke facelift. And then what he did, he had to get two coyotes. That's why it's got a long, like a limousine-like look in the middle, because he had to cut them in half, glue them together, and and this all happened after really expensive surgery. See how his legs are shaved? He had like IVs and stuff. He had a big tumor, is what it was, and they took it out, and he didn't make it. But yeah, it was like the worst thing ever.
See, I want to be as good as you, be able to do.
There needs to be somebody like you.
Things like that.
Yeah, but you know what they do? There's somebody that freezes them in Florida. You heard about that? Like a dry freeze thing for your pets, but it's real expensive. They charge by the pound, and at this rate, I'd probably have to take out a second mortgage with like 140 pounds. But you can send them your cat, whatever it is, a gerbil, which is probably cheap, and they dry freeze it. You'll have to look it up. It's in Florida. Some guy in Florida does it, but yeah. So that's
in school, they actually asked us if we wanted to own our own like mortuary or what we wanted to do a few years down the line. And I originally was like, no, I don't think I ever want to own a mortuary or own a funeral home at all. I think it would be a lot of like just legal,
sorry.
legal shit and
Yeah.
a lot of things that I just don't want
I wouldn't want to deal with the people.
Yeah.
Because what if you do a bad job or something like?
Yeah, but then I came across something that it was kind of like a mortuary crematory, but also for pets as well. So
Oh.
you do like actual,
Yeah.
human cadavers and work on pets as well. And combine it, and I was like, actually, that doesn't sound like a bad idea.
In the same building, or
Yeah.
wow,
Maybe
there was
have
a
half, for your pets and stuff, and then
yeah. Oh, like they'll save the pet for you to die,
you could
and then do like a group funeral.
taxidermy or
Yeah.
cremate them. Or
There's a real famous Bigfoot hunter named Grover Krantz. And you'll have to look it up online because he donated himself to the body farm when he died. He was like a real tall guy. He's like almost 7 feet tall. And he had these or they're not Great Danes, Irish wolfhounds. You ever seen one of those? They're like big. They look like Bigfoot.
Looked that up, like not too long ago.
Yeah.
So now I know what it looks like.
Like a
officially.
Bigfoot almost. And that's probably why this guy had them. He had 2 of them. They were his beloved pets. And anyways, when he wanted to, when he died, they made a statue of Grover Krantz and his 2 dogs, and they're like real tall. But yeah, that's crazy. You could do stuff like that.
Yeah.
You just have to find the right person. There's probably a lot of them out there too.
Nowadays, I feel like taxidermy has been really in and kind of like a hobby.
Yeah.
For a lot of people. So I mean, you see it everywhere now. So I'm pretty sure you can.
You went to school for that as well? Or?
No, not for that. It was kind of self-taught, kind of experimenting a bit.
Yeah.
And then just realized oh wow, this is actually pretty meditating. I don't know. It's pretty nice to work on things and just I don't know, piece them all together. But
you ever thought of making like a scene, like fights or something?
And all that stuff.
Yeah.
I got asked by one of my regulars the other day if I could actually work on something for him, and he wants to do something out. Not just, position them.
Yeah.
Actually do some kind of scene like that. And not a fight scene, but he was like, will you do something weird for me? And I was like, yeah, just tell me what you want and I'll do it.
Gosh. Wow. Yeah, there's probably 99% of the taxidermy business is a deer head, I bet.
Yeah.
Around here anyways.
Yeah, deer heads and
So yeah, it'd be cool to find somebody
birds.
that's into other stuff.
Yeah.
Besides that, you get too much of that crap, you'd drive you crazy. Bunch of deer heads. I've got deer heads here, and I've never even been deer hunting.
Yeah.
So that's how many deer heads there are in this state. But so yeah. Oh yeah. Almost forgot. You're not into bodies or anything, but or into bones. I mean, you said, but check this out. You got. Let's see what I got here. In a suitcase. I knew a magician back in. He was from Pennsylvania. I got to tell the story before I open this because it's pretty grim what we have in here. He was a magician, and he was like an old magician that had cancer or something. He wasn't doing good. He was selling off all his crap, and I met him online or something, and we were talking. This was like back in 2006 or something. Anyways, he had this trick he used to do where he'd cut somebody in half, but then he'd turn the bottom half of them into a skeleton, and then he'd turn this half of them into a skeleton, but it was like real bones and everything. And he only had one half. He didn't know what happened to the other half. I bought the bottom half of this person, and I've had it there for a few years. Check it out. Yeah, I think it was originally some kind of doctor deal, because look, it was all wired up when I got it, and then my house flooded, and the wire rusted. But yeah, we got a little bit of everything in there. I don't know why these are different colors though. That's kind of weird, ain't it? He might have shellacked them. I think so. Or at some point I might have shellacked them. I don't know.
It almost looks like a stain is added on them.
I might have started to stain them, but yeah. So what can you? Oh, here's the foot. Can you tell how old they were or anything? What else do you need? I mean, we've got everything from the waist down, and that's it. Wait, is that an arm? Yeah, we got an arm too. He was supposed to send me the rest of the stuff when he found it, but that's all I got. Yeah.
How long have
shit, 15 years maybe. I mean, look, it might have been, look, if this is him, that's a tall person right there, right? Yeah, so it might have been a 6 foot tall person with small feet.
That's really small feet, though.
Yeah, so it might have been from he had different stuff he put together or something.
That's what I'm thinking, because it doesn't look like it all, like, matches.
Yeah, this doesn't either.
That's pretty small, yeah.
Does any of this look like animal stuff?
Honestly, no.
Yeah, so now I have this person's bones sitting down here, and I don't know what to do with stuff like this. Out of respect, I wish I could give it back to the guy or something. I'm stuck with this for life.
If you don't keep it, give it a proper burial.
Yeah.
That could work too.
I'd probably have to consult you about that, because I wouldn't. Anytime I've buried anything in the backyard, whether it was a snake or whatever,
that,
my dog always digs it up, and I have to see it later.
That's nuts. Okay.
Yeah, so that was part of his magician's act, and I never heard from the guy. He's probably dead by now. But what's the strangest thing you've ever seen while doing all of this?
I think, honestly, the different color of fluids that come out of people, that might sound really weird.
Dude, when you're doing this, what do you have something in your nose?
Yeah, you're supposed to. So I'll tell you a story. So one of, I think this was like the second case that I worked on, and it was at a funeral home out in Tyler, Texas. I'm not going to say which one.
Yeah.
But there was a guy who was supposed to be, I guess, training us or watching over us while we actually worked on a cadaver. And he was so set on not using any, like, PPE, which is, like, personal equipment that you're supposed to use in order to actually be in a prep room, which is pretty much, like, anything that covers your face, your mouth, to cover the smell, like, you have to double glove, you wear... just pretty much the whole thing.
If it's a rotten one.
You
Anyone.
just should be wearing it in general, because you don't want any of that.
Because, like, on the X-Files, they're always just wearing a thing, like eating pizza while they're opening up some. So I knew that was fake. There's no way that's going.
The X-Files. So.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but
I almost thought that was Willie for a second. I was like, hey, look. But
he was just like, trying to be all cool about it, and was like, oh, I don't need to wear any of this.
He's trying to be like tough.
Yeah,
like he liked the smell of death.
I've been doing this for so long that I just don't need to wear it. So he starts pouring in like.
I can tell you right now, that's a fool talking right. Ugh.
He starts pouring in like the embalming fluid and all the tanning stuff and everything. And sure enough, as he's pouring it in, it all splashes in his eye.
What? It's like somebody's mixture of.
Yeah, the fluids that he was mixing in.
They collected.
To actually embalm.
The chemicals.
The chemicals.
Oh
yeah.
shit.
And it actually like struck him in the eye, and he stepped back. And we were all just looking at each other like, well, dumbass, like you should have been wearing, your protective equipment.
What did he have to do? Go wash himself?
He was flushing his eye out for a bit, and stayed under there for probably a good hour, like solid hour. I
saw somebody get carburetor cleaner sprayed in their eye, and I thought it was unusually hilarious too. It was the way it happened. It was in high school. There was like a crack in the wall between the wood shop and the auto tech guys, and like we were spraying stuff back and forth. Some dumbass put his eye up to it, and it got him right in the eye just like that. So I know how funny it can be when that happens.
And I've also seen someone get, because usually you have to drain out, a bunch of your insides while you're embalming, and one of the guys.
What do they do with all that? Back down the drain?
It's down the drain, yeah.
Do they have like a big hole they just throw it down or something? Or?
It just goes, it's like the embalming table, and it just goes
it's at a slant. Hey, is there something called a trocar?
Yeah.
There used to be a car club of Shit, they were
hearses?
Yeah, they were hearses. They were called the trocars.
Yeah, I've heard of that actually.
Yeah, I don't know. Are they still around or not?
I don't know.
Huh.
But, yeah,
that was
I
a
know what
while
you're talking
back. I
about.
always wanted to like get one, and then like the older I got, I was like, yeah, that'd be a hell of a thing. If you broke down, no one would ever help you. They wouldn't want to stop and help you. They're not helping that guy.
I was looking up a hearse not too long ago to see how much they would run, like an old school, actual like probably Cadillac. It was a Cadillac that I saw.
Yeah.
And it
Well, let me
actually
get
wasn't
these
that bad.
bones
But to
off the-
actually find, you know, parts and everything for it now, it'd be extremely expensive.
Sorry about that. Yeah, those hearses. Yeah, they were cheap back then. When I was like, this was 2001 or something. But then each one of them needed to be fixed up, and it'd be a nightmare to find parts for you, right? But
Yeah.
so is the trocar still a thing that you use?
Mhm.
Really? They're like insert the trocar at this point of the.
Yeah.
That's like a needle or something, isn't it?
It's pretty much like a huge, it almost looks like a needle, but
Is it that long?
it's pretty long. There's like different kinds actually.
Gosh.
So there's one about this big. There's one smaller than that.
Oh,
and
so
then
there's
sure you
multiple
have-
ones you use?
Yeah, and there's different ones that you use for like infants as well.
Oh,
so
gosh.
depending on the size of the body.
Wow.
Is pretty much what you would use, and that goes as well for like all the arterial, like fluids. And
To get the
everything that
blood
you
out, what do
use.
they do? Like up here or down here? Or?
Depends on the cadaver.
Yeah.
And,
If it's just like a person that had a heart attack or something.
yeah, it's usually inserted.
The neck?
Yeah, like your collarbone.
You ever seen anyone that drowned or anything?
No, and I was gonna talk about one that I saw, but I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
think I'm allowed to.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, because this one is pretty bad.
Yeah,
But
and
I will
everyone
say-
will know who it is, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how this is a really good story too. But I look like an asshole telling it, so I have to tell it to you later. But yeah, it was a big bloated body, and they let me go in the back and check it out. It smelled horrible.
Yeah.
And it was crazy how big everything swells up when it
Yeah,
drowns.
usually a lot of times that'll happen like regularly, especially with people with edema. So you'll have like their bodies swell up.
What's
because
edema?
It's like the excessive amount of water that's in your body.
If they have like a heart condition or something,
Yeah,
like
heart condition, or say like diabetes, for instance.
They're-
like your
they're
feet or
storing
something like that.
fluids,
Yeah,
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of fluids, so it'll swell up, and it.
Oh, it gets even
smells
worse.
Really, really bad.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So this whole job is like bad. The worst smell I ever had, I had to do community service at the dog pound.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to go in the dog place where they kept the dogs, and it was like 200 dogs. Each of the dogs had probably crapped twice. So that's 400 craps I had to clean up at 6 in the morning. It was horrible. And then after I said, I can't take this anymore, they kept trying to do that. They said, okay, you got to go move cats. You got to deal with the cats now. So they put me in a room with stray cats, a whole wall of mean stray cats. I had to move them from one to another. I got like 2 cats in, and I just quit. I had to go do something else but yeah, the bad smells.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So what did they give you something that you put in there? How does that
Usually,
work?
a lot of people will use Vicks or some kind of.
And that's strong enough to.
I don't use it. I honestly don't really have an issue with the smell.
Right.
And some like.
You
it'll
just kind of
linger,
hold your
too.
breath.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't really, like, you can, but you're going to be working on a cadaver for a few hours depending on the cases.
Oh, so it's never quick.
You can't just like, oh no. I think the shortest one we had was like maybe an hour and a half, and that's still like, yeah.
So when somebody does an autopsy, like what are they just cut you all open or how?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So the autopsy cases that we work on, we don't actually do the incisions. When we get the bodies, they come to us already like that.
Oh.
So they're already opened up, and what we do is basically clean them and like drain them and prep the body. But what I found was pretty fascinating actually. So as far as like intestines and like your lungs and anything of that sort, it'll often get chopped up. Like that's what we do. So we'll chop it up, mix it in like cavity fluid, and it'll sit in a bag while we're embalming like the cadaver. And then it actually gets stuffed right back into you.
Where, down their
Yeah.
throat?
No, in your stomach.
Oh my god.
So
Did they just put the bag in there?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, I don't want to be buried. I don't want to be buried when I die. What about you? Are you?
I want to have an actual viewing.
And then have you cremated or
I
something?
don't know. I'm still unsure. Like, I think about it a lot, too, and I'm like, I wanted to be cremated at first, and then I was like, actually, I kind of don't. I think I want to be buried. So, I don't know.
Not for me. I've thought about it a lot.
Why don't you want to be buried?
Oh, it's just, it takes up too much room. I'd always be there. When I die, I just want there to be no evidence I was ever around. I just want to, if it's just dust, that's fine, but... No, there's stories like that. I don't want my guts in a Ziploc sack. But yeah, and I always knew that went on. And I've been to all these funerals. And I see the person. I'm like, well, now what? They're just going to put them in there and bury it and leave them there, and that's just supposed to be there forever.
Yeah.
Like, what about 1,000,000 years in the future?
Yeah.
It just takes.
You often hear of like.
The natural burials.
And further down the line where like houses are always built on top of.
Oh yeah, like in Houston.
I believe like pretty much everywhere, like everyone's built on top of some body of some sort. I feel like there's just so many. Whether it's
an insect, a dog. Yeah, death's always been around me for some reason. It's always been real close. Like I came in this house, I moved in here, and then all the neighbors came over and said, "Guess what? Lady hung herself in the basement, in that room over there. Hung herself on Easter Sunday." And so I'm come down here at night. I'm like, well, I've never seen a ghost or nothing, but I was like, well, I guess if they're gonna say something, you know, they're being awfully quiet because I've been here a while. But yeah. So, well, is there anything else you want to say about death? Or
Not really. I don't know. I think
there's a lot to talk about too, huh?
Oh, yeah,
I feel like I got a lot more questions about death.
I honestly used to be like, I was always intrigued by it, but I feel like as far as like passing away, I was always scared of it.
Yeah.
And then I think the more when going to school and then like doing research and just watching a lot of stuff that I watch, like it just, I don't know, opened my mind more and more accepting of it. So like, now I actually see death as like just being beautiful, and I see, you know, cadavers and stuff that I work on, and I just think it's a beautiful thing. So I don't know. I just I could go on and talk about it for a long time. But
yeah, I used to really be freaked out. Like, how am I gonna die? You know, but as I get older, I take notes. Like some people, there's a lot of heart attacks going on these days and stuff. And I guess if you die from a heart attack, that's probably not the worst way to die. Or is it?
Not.
No. I think a heart attack wouldn't be bad. Man, a guy I know has a bunch of rent houses where a bunch of wild shit's been happening lately. One guy put a sack over his head, taped it shut, taped it around his neck. He already had his letter out, you know, suicide letter. And he signed it, ha, ha, ha. And he died like that. And it was on Father's Day. They found him like that.
When was that?
This year, or whatever, Father's Day, June or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had to come clean him up. And then, a week after that, some psycho son of a bitch went on a date with a woman, killed her, and parked it in another one of these guys' rent houses and burnt the car and shit. And it's like, damn, what a bunch of crazy-ass rent houses.
Sounds like a Tales from the Crypt episode.
Yeah, I hope it's over, too. I hope that was it, because, oh, man, it's crazy out there. But, yeah. So when somebody dies, is there like a big center all the bodies get sent to, like in a region or something? Or because I noticed it's like a Tarrant County medical examiner. I always look in on that to see if there's anyone I know. Sometimes there is.
Yeah, I guess it just depends on the city, and then it's all up to the family too on where they get sent to, pretty much. And it actually is the city too. So like if it were to happen in Dallas County, most likely it's going to be in Dallas County.
Oh, okay.
One cool thing though, as far as like cemetery goes and like burials and stuff like that, a lot of it is based on like your religion as well. So like how you're placed when you're buried, or where you're placed, all depends on like your religion and stuff.
Yeah. Can't have tattoos if you're a Jew. I got a friend that's a Jew, bunch of tattoos. She don't know what she's gonna do
And
when
they
she
used
dies.
to actually not believe in embalming either. And
That's why they had to get them in quick.
Now
I remember
they're
that
actually
too.
being more like, I guess, susceptible to it. It's becoming more of like a common thing.
Yeah. In the oven I go. I mean, I even thought about getting a tattoo to say that, because that's how much against just laying there. And you know what really sucks? Because I'd go to the cemeteries in the summertime, and it was always hot as hell. I said, this is the last place I ever want to come again. So I don't want to do that. Cremation would be all right, but as long as it's not like one of those zombie Haiti cremation. Remember that shit where they turn you into a zombie? They give you what's the poison blowfish? He's got his poison, and the guy will come up and prick you with maybe as an umbrella with a sharp point on it, and then that night your heart stops beat. It slows down so much that they think you're dead. So they take you to the a place like where you work, but this is in Haiti or somewhere.
Yeah.
And then a guy's in cahoots with the guy that's running that, so he comes by and he's like, all right, here he is. And they take you back, and all of a sudden you're enslaved in this camp. There was a guy that came out of it. I can't remember what his name is. You'll have to look it up on the internet, but yeah, that's pretty wild shit. So anyways, moving on. You're a model on top of all this. Wow. Where do you model at?
I've been modeling for quite a few years now, and mainly for publications, so pretty much magazines. That's mainly like my goal if I do work with someone. It's going to be for publications.
Yeah.
And it's mainly like either tattoo magazines or anything that's editorial.
Uh-huh.
So just do a lot of that. I love it. I think it's a lot of fun. And I'm not going to look like this forever, so might as well take advantage.
Yeah. What kind of magazines? Like what names of the publication?
I've been in Delicious Dolls.
Oh yeah,
times.
we had someone on here from there.
Yeah, I think you had
Steffi Danger.
on here.
Yeah,
she's been in there a few times. I've been in Culture magazine, which is more editorial, more kind of like more gory, I guess.
What was it called?
Culture.
Is that where they have people hanging from hooks and shit like that? Or?
Not that one. It's got more like editorial, so it would be more gory, but I don't know about like hooks and stuff.
Chris Angel, I think, did it. They hooked him up, or maybe it wasn't him, but a guy that looked like him. They took him out over the Grand Canyon, did figure eights in the helicopter, and then brought him down. Everyone thought it was great. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Like what is it, suspension?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember I saw one of the first shows I saw of that. Actually, it was like at a Halloween. It was Halloween night or something,
God.
and I fainted. Like the amount of blood, like. Of course.
I'm a fainter myself.
I work with cadavers, but that was one of the times I fainted. I had to hold myself because they were actually suspended and there was so much blood pouring out. They had bucket.
That would have walked away. Where's this at? Like a haunted house or something?
Haunted house.
Where at? Which one?
Man, this was so long ago. I think I was probably 19 at the time, yeah, but I was right up front and it was just so much blood.
Oh my God.
I fainted, and one of my girlfriends was like, Val, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, and had to go wet my face, and I don't know, it was pretty bad.
God.
Now I can look at it and it's fine.
Yeah.
But seeing all that, for the first time and just the amount of blood.
Oh yeah, especially at a haunted house.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I used to have to get blood taken a lot, and I'd faint every other time because I don't breathe. Then one time a nurse said, "Hey, you gotta breathe," and now I know the trick. Anytime you're gonna faint, you just gotta. I gotta quit paying attention to it and just
don't look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it always sucks when you get a nurse that's commenting on the blood too, because you can't close your ears.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a fainter. Or I used to be. It's been years since I have, but I think in the right circumstances, I'd flop like a fish. Yeah. But well, is there anything else you'd like to talk about, or that's kind of all I have? Oh wait, you're a bartender too. Yeah. Okay, we forgot about that. So you're always dealing with drunks and.
Yeah, I actually worked last night and we were extremely busy. I work at Sunshine Bar.
Oh, I've been there a lot, yeah.
Yeah, I've been working there. Let's see, we did, I think, it's been over 5 years. I think it's almost been 5.5 years or so. I've
you
been
worked there?
Mm-hmm.
And how old is that bar?
It's been around, from what I've heard, early 60s.
Wow.
So it's been around for
Was
a
it always
long
called
time.
the Sunshine Bar?
Yeah, I think it was called the Sunshine Club before, and then they switched it to Sunshine Bar.
It's not a very big building, is it?
No, it's super tiny. Yeah.
I've been in there a few times. How do you get a lot of fights?
Actually, no. A lot of the good like fights and stuff don't happen on my nights for some reason.
I saw a scuffle there one time amongst two women. I saw a margarita glass go flying out the front door, and then she kind of went like this, and I didn't catch all of it, but yeah, they don't let you smoke there anymore either.
Not anymore. Pretty much all of, I guess, DFW is going to non-smoking. So I think the only area now is Grand Prairie. That's
What
still
about
all smoking.
Grand Prairie does?
Mm-hmm. I
Dang.
think so, yeah.
What about like building a deck? Because you can't drink out there. That's why I noticed a lot. There's little guys like doing this. He's standing in the doorway, like drinking. Yeah, and then like some other guy with a flashlight, glasses, and a backwards hat. I guess he's like a security guy. He's like, "Get out! You can't do that." And so they had to go outside. But what do you think about maybe like putting an enclosed little deck or something?
That's pretty much what we're working on right now. And
Oh, really?
We're supposed to have a patio built within the next actual month or so.
Wow, this is breaking news. Does anyone know about this, or
I don't
is it?
think a lot of people know about
Is it where y'all putting it? The front or the back?
In the back.
Oh, that's where I'd put
Yeah.
it too. Yeah. How big is it gonna be?
Honestly, it can't be that big because especially where the parking lot goes.
Oh yeah.
And
So probably
Base.
just big enough for enough people to get out there.
yeah, to get out and be able to actually smoke and drink. But yeah.
Wow, look at
I
that.
don't
We got
know
a
if
lot
you
of
knew
people that
yet.
go there. Yeah. That's breaking news.
Yeah.
I got a confession to make. One time I was at the Sunshine Bar, and you know how y'all keep that big bucket of Cheeto Puffs? Or
You're
you?
not the first one who's stolen it.
Oh, yeah.
You know how many people have run out with
But
that
I mean,
bucket?
there wasn't a lot in it either. There's just a little bit.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel like it was like I was taking the whole Sam's Club purchase.
You know how
Just
many people I've had to yell at who will take it outside and they're
Ooh.
just eating? Like, out
Oh
of the
God, that's
bucket?
got to be nasty.
And,
At the
yeah.
end, it's got to be like 10% fingernail dust or something. Ooh.
Or some fingernails in there, maybe.
Ooh, shit. God. As if those things weren't nasty enough.
Yeah, I don't. When I first started working there, I'll admit, like, you'd get drunk and you're like, oh, these are so good.
Yeah.
And then now I can't stand them. Like, I can't.
Yeah, I've wised up myself.
It's just,
It'd be cool if there was ever a fight in there, like nobody got hurt too bad, but the lid wasn't on just right, and they got knocked in. Yeah, like a cheese puff fight. Maybe, that'll happen one day. But it's real dark in there, so you wouldn't be able to see them too well. Well, so yeah, if any of y'all are looking for a place to go hang out, or you go there often, go back, because you'll be able to stand outside on wood and smoke and drink at the same time. When is that? Next month, hopefully?
It should be at the end of this month, actually, hopefully. So, if not by next month.
Pretty soon. You'll have to go out there, and we've been having a light winter or light summer too. So, maybe they'll come out there before that too.
Yeah, come to the shows for sure, though.
Yeah,
they're always a good time and cheap beer and drinks. So
yeah. I had to.
Probably like the cheapest bar down Division, honestly.
Yeah, I've always thought so, but I always liked it too, because there's not a lot of rules, but you have to stay within yourself. But I quit drinking, but to be honest, I fall off the wagon like every 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
And but the next day I get a real bad hangover, and then
Also, we just started serving White Claw for all of you.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of them out there. In fact, the last time I fell off the wagon, that's what I fell off into, was some White Claws. And
I still haven't tried any.
And it didn't even taste like alcohol. I was like, what is this? It was the lime one. And I thought for sure I should have been able to taste the alcohol, and I couldn't.
Yeah.
And so I drank another one, and I didn't even really get drunk. I had like 3 of them, and that was it. And I said, fuck this. And beer's gotten expensive too nowadays. Yeah. It's like $10 for a 6-pack. Used to, it was a little cheaper than that.
We don't really buy a whole lot of beer anymore, and if we do, I don't really know how much it is anymore. So
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
I just buy a bunch of weed nowadays. That's really all I buy, but probably cut that out. But yeah, so anyways, well, it's been great having you on the show.
Thank you for having
Yeah,
me.
you can check her out at, you got a web page or anything like that?
My Instagram's at One Tough Dame, and then if you want to find me on Facebook, you can as well, and it's under Val Herrera.
One Tough Dame on Instagram and Val Herrera on Facebook.
Yeah.
And
if you're bored, come out on Saturdays to Sunshine Bar.
Yeah.
Off Division Street, and come have a good
Yeah,
time.
where's it? Cooper, between Cooper and Bowen. There's probably another street that's even closer to that than they're right down. But
Fielder.
I had to walk there not too long ago because I was at that video game bar.
Free play?
Yeah. And everyone got kicked out at 12 or something. And then the Ubers were real expensive because there was a Cowboy game. So I had to walk with this drunk idiot, and he took me the wrong direction, and we went all the way down the street behind y'all and then curved around. I stepped in a hole, stubbed my toe on like a piece of metal, and then when I finally got there, I said, fuck this, I'm going home, and I just got a ride back. But I guess he stayed there and got drunk. But it was like all the way around and then up, and then so there's no way to cut through. I guess
I think free play is just straight down.
Yeah, like I said, I took some
drunk
bad advice. And that was a horrible mistake. But anyways, it's been great having you on the show, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you, and ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with more Hot Joint after this. All right, folks, welcome back to the Hot Joint. It is now time to play an extra-large edition of the Wheel of Exclamation, the game where you win, you lose some more, and whatever you have left, you might lose after that. This one today is going down in the history books. The Hot Joint 10th episode anniversary. It's an extra-large edition. We held a contest. We've got 3 lucky geezers here today. Let's bring them out right now. Find out who they are. The contestants on today's game. Eddie Buchanan of Salt Lake City. Come on out. You're playing the Wheel of Exclamation today, Eddie. Good to see you. Good to meet you, Eddie. A retired math teacher, I'm told. And Eddie, it's good to have you here. Coming out next, we got Joanna Griswolski, Kansas City. She enjoys cats and voting in local elections. You might remember her from a few episodes back. We had, she went on a date with Paul Delmonica, who went absolutely horrible. Coming out third, last but certainly not least, Gary Davis, Baltimore, Maryland. He's a retired shot putter, you might recall, from well, you tell us, Gary, you're a shot putter. What was it all about?
I won the 1986, 87, and 88 Olympics in the shot put.
The shot put 86, 87. He also holds the record of 3 consecutive years as well for the anvil toss. Is that correct?
Yes, the anvil toss, yes.
And tell the viewers out there that might not know, what is exactly an anvil toss? I've never heard of it myself.
Well, we take an anvil and we toss it, and it's whoever wins is the person who threw it the furthest.
Yeah, and you've thrown it the furthest most often than most people have in history, I've been told.
Yeah, my record is 27 feet 8 inches, and it was a world record for several years.
27 feet 8 inches, you said?
That's right.
And how much does this anvil weigh?
That's a 60-pounder.
Good Lord.
Full 60-pounder.
Good Lord, that's insane. I can't imagine that. Well, it's great to have you on the show, Gary. And, all right, well, I hope give a round of applause to our contestants today, and let's get ready to play. All All right, now first off, I must warn you that if you lose, since it's a big deal today, you're gonna get a cold hard pie to the face. There's no way around, okay? But if you win, you'll win this. 20,000 dinars! Straight from the palace of Saddam Hussein. Only the Christmas bills were stuffed in here, hand-picked from the guards. But yeah, that's what you're playing for. Daisy Sallow with the pie. She's wearing the yellow gloves because she's allergic to cobbler. She just found out, so precautionary measures, yellow dishwashing gloves. All right, Fast Eddie, you're up first. Go ahead and spin the wheel like you're leaving town and nobody knows your name. Oh, boy. Well, Eddie, I wish things had turned out better for you, but, as you know, pie can never be expressed in a simple fraction form. Get to the back and get yourself cleaned up. All right, folks. And up next, Joanna Griswolski. Come on over. You're the next contestant to play the Wheel of Exclamation. Ladies and gentlemen, you might remember Joanna from earlier this year. She went on that horrible date with Paul Delmonico that ended in disaster. Joanna, how are things going out there in Kansas?
Oh, fine and pleasant as always.
Fine and pleasant as always. That's great to hear. You're playing for 20,000 dinars, as you know. Get you a good whiff of that, Joanna. 20,000 dinars could go a long way in Kansas, couldn't it? Well, wave goodbye to everyone you know back in Kansas. Give that wheel a great big spin, and let's find out the truth. Oh, God, I'm sorry, Joanna. I thought you were for sure going to win, but... Oh, there she goes. Back to Kansas. And anytime I head to Kansas, I always set my clock to local time by turning it back about 100 years. All right, get to the back. Get yourself cleaned up. We've got to get to the next contestant. Up next, Gary Davis, the retired shot putter. All right, now spin that son of a bitch. Gary Davis, the retired shot putter, playing for 20,000 dinars, guaranteed to go up in value. Oh, I'm sorry you lost, Gary, but you know the routine. Oh. Well, that concludes another... Get him a towel, Stacy, get him a towel. Well, that concludes another episode. Whoa, what? Whoa, you fool! What's wrong with you? She's allergic to cobblers! Medic! We need a medic out here! We need a medic! She's allergic to cobbler! She's allergic to cobbler! Medics! Medics! All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great 10 episodes. Here's to 10 more. Thank you for watching, and good night.